Yeah,
paving
before I get
company
completely
from
owned by this
anymore.
2 racks. Well, I'm kind of at a loss here because normally my expansion doesn't get blocked. Would you expand in this situation?
Absolutely.
Cool.
The worst thing you can do in this position is to just let your entire build change because something threw you off a little bit. You know, one of the things that I talk about a lot, one of the things that I really try to preach is always have a baseline foundational plan, a baseline foundational play style that you can return to. And anytime we get tremendous lag, what the hell?
I am lagging a lot.
Yeah, I'm getting it as well.
I don't know what's going on.
Looks like it's going to go back to normal.
So,
alright, anyways, the reason we have that baseline foundational plan is because when there's a deviation, and when we've dealt with the deviation, we have something to return to. So the lesson is always return to your plan, which is, in this case, expanding quickly. And I love that you're pulling these guys off gas right on time. You're going to start your speed. And that is the extent of our deviation. Now we're going to play normally, and we're going to return right back to our standard style.
now how do I, like, I'm trying to make a decision of when I should go back to droning now. I don't know.
Well, I would just kind of be preserving larva in the meantime, checking to see what he's up to, and confirming that I feel safe before I go back to droning. So you're gonna poke.
Because I saw him take 2 gases, so I'm not really sure what's going on.
You see no expo. Now you see that he is in fact building a command center, so you can return to droning. So you saw him take 2 gases. So that could mean a number of things.
Yes. Could mean like Banshees, could mean heavy mech play.
Could mean you need to make an Overlord badly.
Oh.
Yeah, it could mean either of those things. And in this situation, there's really nothing you can do about it. You just have to play your normal game, and then kind of cope once you get a better feel. Now you have this Overlord in the back of his base, and you can absolutely send that at any point to kind of confirm or deny whatever suspicions you may have. Machine says to sacrifice that Overlord at 36 supply. I say between 5 and 6 minutes. My advice would have had it in there sooner. Machines would have it in there now. So if you're going to check, now's the time to do it.
Yeah, I think I just sent him in there.
And while this is going on, you're continuing to kind of poke at the front with your lings and see what's up while droning heavily.
Lots of barracks.
What does your Overlord see?
Double factory. So, I think that means I should get a roach horn, maybe? I don't know, what do you think?
Well, you know, there's a couple kinds of reads you can get out of this. In these positions, what do you think is the strongest thing he could do?
Like a tank push, I guess? Or maybe Hellions even? I don't know actually.
I would agree that a tank push into the 3rd would probably be the best kind of engagement that he could make. So that might be my initial read, but you're right. 2 factories is suspicious, and if you feel like you need roaches, then there's absolutely nothing wrong with throwing that roach horn down. So you've got a baneling nest and a roach horn. Your lair is actually done, and you haven't started any sort of lair tech. So this begs the question to me: why did you start your lair if you're not going to build any lair tech?
Because I got distracted by those 2 Marines that were trying to kill me.
Fair enough. Typically when going Mutiling Bane, you want that Baneling nest to be finished before your lair, because any sort of early mid-game pushes are going to happen before that lair is done. Also because you want your Baneling speed to start when your lair is done.
Right.
You have gone up to 4 gas, which is good. And you're probably feeling like you really want to take a 3rd and you just don't know where.
Mm-hmm. And so I kind of got that roach horn just in case I saw like really heavy mech play. I'm not going to build any roaches yet. That seemed okay.
That's completely understandable, and I think that's a totally fine choice. I would like to see you macroing a little bit more effectively. Having this kind of money this early in the game is a little bit bad.
Okie dokie. So what does that mean I should do then?
Well, you're expanding right now, so that's kind of part of it. But I mean, you just and I guess the other part of it is you're going mutas, so you're going to spend a lot of that here in just a second. So you know, maybe the best thing you can do right now is ignore me and just get your mutas out.
Sure. But I is that kind of typical to kind of bank resources for those mutas?
Oh yeah, of course. You know, if you make mutas one at a time, then they're going to be a lot less scary than if you make them 7 or 10 at a time. So.
Got it.
Now, one thing that people ask me sometimes is if I only make 5 or 6 mutas, should I show them right away? And the answer is, of course, yes. Get those mutas in his face immediately. You have to put the fear of the muta in him.
Fear of the muta.
Yeah.
Should I be morphing banelings?
Do you feel like you're at risk of attack right now?
Well, I kind of always feel like I'm at risk when
Then
I'm playing a
yes.
Terran.
If you feel like you're at risk, then yes.
Okay, so I saw him moving out.
Then I would absolutely be morphing banelings, and I would be making as many units as is humanly possible. So your muta's got to do something. And now he's just sieged up on your high ground. This is about the worst position you could possibly be in. And that's about the worst thing that could possibly happen.
Yeah. So that was pretty bad.
Now how typical is that of a Terran engagement for you?
In close positions, like that kind of just happens. They move out and they kill me. But I'm a little bit more exceptionally nervous for this. So.
All right, well, that's fine. So as I stated before, as you hear the train approaching from behind, it sounds like it has a fucking jet engine.
Mm-hmm.
That is the loudest train I've ever heard in my life. Do you hear this, train?
Yeah.
All right. As we stated before, in these positions, I think infestor is a lot more viable than muta, because right now, one fungal growth on that ball of marines and they all die. He stems, you fungal, and they all die. And then
Got it.
And then you have zerglings to clean up the tanks. Now, I play infestors every game, period. And we're going to play infestors this next game.
Okay.
And we're going to kind of see if it feels any better. Now, you could have dealt with that with mutas, but you have to be much more aggressive with them than you are. Those mutas have to be like, holy crap, I'm going to harass you until you die. You can't just let him freely push right up to the high ground outside your third and do whatever the hell he wants. That's totally inexcusable. It's like a free pass to the cliff outside of my... I mean, what's a good analogy I could draw? He's sieged up in your natural. Why do I need to make an analogy? You know, it's like,
yeah,
it's
pretty,
news.
you know.
You know, you know, other things just in general, kind of like about your build. It was okay. You know, if you have banelings a little bit sooner, then I mean, you know, really nothing. It was fine. That was fine. It was a fine mutalist build. You just got screwed because of the positions and because you didn't really respond appropriately to the push. You know.
Did you think I had a number of units that could have engaged and taken out? Like he had 5 tanks.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. You know, if he's sieged up, well, let's talk a little bit about the way the Terran plays that. When you go muta, the Terran player establishes his siege line. He pushes forward with Marines. The Marines are the DPS. The siege tanks are not the DPS. The Marines are the DPS.
Mm-hmm.
So he goes up and he does as much damage with his Marines as he can until you decide to engage him. And then what does he do?
He stems and runs away.
Exactly. And how far are you allowed to chase him?
Till he's off the creep, I guess. Or until I'm in siege tank range, maybe?
Yes,
I don't know.
that is the correct answer. Because the instant you get within siege tank range, what happens?
You know, the banelings go, they get exploded.
Everything dies, and then you just lose everything, and then the game is unwinnable at that point, right?
Okay.
So with mutalisks, the way that you engage that dynamic is by by engaging the tanks with mutas so that he can't push away with the Marines like he wants to, forcing his Marines to stay around the tanks, And then you want to engage with your lings and your banelings when he unsieges or when he has an opening. Like, you would have much rather have engaged that while he was pushing than when he was sieged up. Because once he has that position, he has his static army in place, and a static Terran army is the strongest army in the game. Would you agree?
I would agree. So when I saw the siege tanks move out, I just really made a snap decision to take my Mutalisk and go harass his mineral line because I thought maybe he would turn back. Is that ever something
that's a viable choice, you know? Well, I'm going to hit his main and make him turn around. But if you're going to do that, you have to hit his main with so much stuff that he has to turn around. And 6 mutas is not that much stuff. 7 mutas is not that much stuff. It's just not. He could have dealt. He had turrets in place, and the Marines he had popping out would have been enough to deflect those 7 mutas. You know,
Got it.
A better thought would have been, he's pushing out, I'm going to hit his base with 7 mutas and 20 zerglings, right?
Okay.
Because then he has to deal with that, because, you know, 20 zerglings are pretty troublesome. Now, let's talk about infestors a little bit, because that's what we're going to do in this game. The Terran dynamic. I'm going to siege up. I'm going to push forward with Marines, do as much damage as I can. When he comes to engage me, I'm going to run away and let my tanks deal with that. Right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. What does infestors do to that thought process?
They make it so the Marines can't run away?
Yeah, it says, sister, you're not running any farther than that. And in that instance, did he have any medevacs?
He did not. I didn't see any.
In that instance, it just disintegrates the Marines, period. So then the Marines all die, and then all that he's left with are siege tanks.
So when do you drop the infestation pit?
The second your layer finishes.
Okay.
Alright, are you ready?
Yes. And is it Ling, Baneling, Infestor? Is that what you do?
Nope. It's Zergling Infestor.
Ling, Infestor. Okay.
Yep.
And so do you even drop a Baneling nest?
Nope. I know. It's hard to fathom ZvT without banelings.
My brain just like blue screened. So it's 100 gas on Ling speed, 100 gas on the layer. I'm ready to go. By the way, we can get started.
Yeah, I'm waiting on him to tell me that he's back. He said he was going to get water.
So 100 gas on Ling speed, 100 gas on layer, and then the rest of your gas is on the infestation pit, and then infestors.
Basically, yeah. And you know, if it gets to the point where he just has a gajillion Marines, then sure, add in banelings. Absolutely. If it gets to the point where he's bringing so much early game aggression that you're not going to have stuff to deal with in time, then sure, add in banelings. But
when do you take your second gas for this?
Okay, we're going to live off of 1 gas until we start our layer, and then we're going to instantly go to 4.
Got it. Okay.
All right. And this is going to feel a little bit foreign and weird at first, but we're going to get through it. And by the end of this, you're going to be a convert. I can already tell.
Got it. You know, I'm always on the razor's edge when it comes to Mutiling Baneling. Like, it's one misclick away from losing the entire game. So,
yes,
I feel like maybe infestors are not like that.
No, they're not at all. Now, one thing that you should kind of be thinking to yourself is, gee, if I'm on 4 gas and I'm only making lings and infestors, where's all that gas going to go? Right?
Sure.
And the
I would imagine upgrades and stuff like that. Infestors are expensive.
Upgrades, you're right. And it's not just infestor upgrades, it's ling upgrades as well. Upgraded Zerglings trade quite effectively with Marines, as you will come to find out. And I'm just delighted at these positions because they are the exact same as we had previously.
Oh my god.
Well, you get to see exactly what I mean when I say that infestors cope better with these positions than mutas do. And if you like playing the mutalist style, that's awesome. You know, if nothing else, we'll walk out of this with another feather to put in our hat, so that we know in these positions mutas aren't so good.
Yeah, well, you know, I think it's very near an auto loss for me in these positions against Terran. So, you know, maybe infestors will work.
I think they will. So your hatch is about to go down. He's not going to block it this time if you get it started on time. Good. Going up to 15 and getting that pool started. I like to very often. I like to go up to 16 to start my spawning pool, but
I actually started on 14 when